Right. Don't forget, once again, viewers, anywhere you're watching from, this is One ISTV, the crew. The crew, we're all set. And we just want to look at the prediction. We want to delve into this season coming up, 2024-2025. Last season, we can all remember Chelsea. You guys finished number 16 or something. I can't remember.
No, no, you didn't do that, did you?
Oh my goodness. All right. Let's move on to this. Let's start. I have to start with transfer, no doubt about it. And this transfer issue, there's some clubs. Let me say some clubs, they are struggling. We're going to delve into all this. The clubs. We have Chelsea also doing some things. Aston Villa, have they signed anybody? Aston Villa, are they making any signing?
Yeah,
Whoa, they've had almost. I think they are one of the highest so far when it comes to transfer. They've gotten about 6 or 7 players.
What?
Yeah.
Yep.
It's so silent, like it's so quiet.
The truth is, this transfer window has been an unusual one, considering the fact that the top sides aren't really signing players, but it's rather the middle place teams that are actually signing. Even funny enough, Everton hasn't signed. And as we're looking at it right now, we're looking at a scenario whereby Everton might actually start the season with a points deduction because first challenge they had was the whole deal with 777. Anyway, we already said that it was already a deal that was looking doomed in the first place because the history of 777 with football has been a long tale of woes. Basically, every club that they've tried to buy or they've bought at a point has had a financial challenge. So we pointed it out, and I think they didn't actually take us serious until the deal eventually crashed. Now, whoever is trying to take over now is being careful, and if with the situation they already have financially, if they don't have someone in place before the ending of August, there is a 6-point deduction that is already coming. I don't know how they're going because they already overshot their transfer budget already at the moment. So that means we're having a challenge with them. But I think everyone has been doing their bit of business, except the top sides. The top sides look like, okay, we're going to just try and see whatever surprise might spring up towards the end of the transfer window. But until then, I don't think major movements will happen on that angle. Yeah.
All right. Let me start with this. Prof, I'm going to start with you on this. What's expectation going into this season, 2024-2025? What do you expectations?
Like Jeffers alluded to, I think those middle sides, they make good signings that I see might close up. They might close the gap a little bit. So for me, I'm expecting a very competitive season. If you look at the likes of Aston Villa, they signed Andre Onana from to replace Douglas Lewis.
Oh yes.
Everton, a good player. They signed Ian Matson, the Champions League finalist, the young left back from Chelsea. They signed him. So they made great signings as well. Albeit they sold the Musa Diaby to Saudi, but then they replaced him. They have players all over the pitch. Only Watkins is still there. So when you look at the likes of Aston Villa, even though they have a Champions League campaign, you would see that they make good signings to be able to cope with that. You look at West Ham. West Ham is another team that for me has gone under the radar. They made fantastic signings as well.
Fantastic signings, honestly.
Yeah,
I think.
This striker, this German
Nicholas Pope. Yeah.
Oh my God,
that was a shocker. No one actually saw that coming at all.
Even Tadibo, for me was a major shock.
Tadibo was also there too. Yeah, they also signed him as well too.
Wow,
they hijacked him basically.
They made fantastic signings. So look out for West Ham. So for me, I think it's a season where there might be a little bit more competition that we saw last season. Don't be surprised if you see West Ham in the top 7, top 6. Flirting with the European League positions and things like that. So I'm expecting a fantastic. And then I'm also expecting a drop off for Man City. Except maybe they go ahead and make another serious out of the blue signing to replace Alvarez. I think for me, like I said in the group, I think naturally after winning 4 in a row, I expect a little bit of I expect their hunger and desire to be a little bit lesser than it used to be, and Arsenal's want to be, as high as it can get. So I expect Arsenal's hunger and desire to be off the top of the roof, and I think that might just be what will edge them. So I don't want to give too much away to my predictions, but I'm expecting a very, very, very roller coaster season this upcoming season.
All right, guys. Let's quickly look at this top club. You mentioned about Man City, Prof. Are they making any signings yet
Yeah,
or something? I
only
mean,
one guy
it's still silent.
from their feeder club Girona, Savio, the Brazilian. That's the only signing made. You know, yeah, but then they've not really apart from Alvarez, who has left. I think for me, their major signings technically for me was keeping in the likes of De Bruyne, who was flirting a little bit with Saudi transfers and was
Yeah.
also keeping Ederson. You know, I think Pep was crucial in that agreement to make sure Bruyne. So if you look at Alvarez, the majority of the City's team still there. You know, they have Alan, they still have the world best striker, they have the world best manager. So they are Man City don't need too much. You know, like I said, they might, I still feel like they will replace Alvarez. But whether or not they replace Alvarez, I think we've seen Pep do this thing where if Alan is not there, he can possibly use a Foden in the first line or Bernardo Silva, who scored a header, a very beautiful header against Man United, like a striker. So I think they know how to cope without playing with the striker. So I still think they will sign. So for me, they don't need to add too much to that team. I think they will always reach all over the pitch. Yeah, so I would rate their transfer so far maybe a B, just a B. Yeah,
a B. All right, let's move on to
I
this.
think Pep is already giving us an idea of what's going to happen this season, because if you've noticed the preseason so far, he's been using Oscar Bob as a foil to Ellen Haaland. So that tells you that if Haaland doesn't play, Bob is going to play 9 directly. Because I think most people we've been kind of like ignoring that youngster, but that guy is good. In
That
all
guy is good.
honesty,
you're right.
That
I
guy's
think
good.
confidence is there. He has played in big games and he has actually been able to make his own quota to the team. So I think he's one player we should be looking out for definitely this season.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. Because we have to look at this team as well. Arsenal. They only sign one player, I guess, to be precise. Jeffers, you have to help us.
Two actually. Two.
Two.
They confirmed David Raya's deal as a permanent deal now, and they brought in Riccardo Calafiori from Bologna. Those are the only two signings currently. But I think from reports we are getting from England at the moment, Edu is in Spain. He's trying to negotiate a deal for. He's trying to negotiate a deal for Mikel Merino. I think they're having issues with. I think the issue we are having with that deal is just valuations, because Sociedad are looking at 30 and Arsenal are looking at 25, because what they're saying is the guy is in the last year of his contract. He's about to leave. He's not going to sign an extension. So I think there's a case whereby you just have to find a right balance. I think personal terms has been agreed. Everything has already been sorted. The only thing just left is just the two clubs to actually agree on the price. And I think, but for what I've been observing so far, I think that deal is basically a done deal. We shouldn't consider it as a concern, because everybody will cut their losses and finally agree on something. So I think we might just say it's 2.5 at the moment. But I think some things will actually pop up, because with the rumors we are hearing, there's also the talk about Kingsley Coman actually coming over on a loan deal. We're hearing talks about maybe the whole Osimhen cycle that is going on currently. I don't think Arsenal's hands are completely out of the cookie jar completely. Anything might happen, because right now it's a juggling factor between either Osimhen or Victor Gyökeres. Because the way it's looking right now, if Edin Ketia makes that move, which most likely will happen, because right now I think Bournemouth are actually a shoe-in and trying to get a transfer over the window. If that happens, then definitely a striker has to come in to back up. Because I think one of the major challenges, I wouldn't say it was a challenge, because I think from January last season, Arsenal was able to prove the fact that even though there wasn't exactly an out-and-out striker, they actually scored just one goal behind City from January. That was how prolific they were in attack, because the goals were coming in from other sources except from the 9. Funny enough, Arsenal's 9 had only 4 goals last season. So he had more goals coming in from midfield. Yep.
All right.
Had more goals coming from midfield.
Hold on, Jeffers.
Yeah.
I want to ask Bishop one thing about Arsenal transfer right now. Because me, personally, I'm expecting Arsenal to do more in that striking role, but I'm not seeing it yet. Bishop, is it going to haunt Arsenal this season?
Yes, it will. Simple is a simple fight. It's going to hurt them, and they'll come with the
Wow.
excuse. They have the chance to straighten now. I really don't understand the transfer behind the defender they are signing. We know in NBA they say defense wins you the title, but I don't think in football it applies to football. They have enough defenders. They can argue for what they want. They can argue, but they have enough defenders. You have people with less defenders, club with less defenders, and they're signing more. Now, that's by the way, now you are not even looking at the main side, the striking point. Yes, Havertz. I don't want to give him any stick, but he's trying. He tried his best. I've seen Gabriel Jesus he can't lead a Premier League side to a title. He can't. You need someone that can do that. They put Osimhen on the list. I think it's far fetched. They put the guy from the Portugal league, Groski, or what's his name. They put him on the list, and I don't know why they are not trying to get that transfer done. And they are focusing on the La Liga guy, I think
Merino.
the Marino guy. I think they should focus more on the strike. There will be 2 to 4 games that Harvard will blank. No, more than 4 7. The Harvard will blank. Odegaard will blank. Saka will blank. Then what do you call on? Rice?
Well,
Or
Rice.
the corner kick.
Ah.
So they're putting, yes, I know they're diversing like that. Oh, we are good at corner kicks, we have the tactics, but you know what? Team will take you out. Team will block all those things. Now I'm saying this season, just like he said, Prof, thank you for mentioning West Ham. Like the team to watch out for is West Ham. Like
Wow.
those guys have signed. I just saw like when I saw Wan-Bissaka going there, so all their defense line has changed. Their defense 4 has changed. No more Zuma. No, no more Zuma.
Very good
Yeah?
defender for Wolves.
Yes, Kilman from Wolves, actually, he was the best defender in Wolves last season. Todibo from the French league, he was one of the best last week. Wan-Bissaka was the one from last week, and they are trying to get one of. So those guys have changed their first 4. So you can't say you are wanting for Mavropanos or Zuma. Those guys are good, and they have a very good keeper, Areola, which I think was one of the standouts last season. And Kunduz just had a first season. So watch out for those guys. So I think Arsenal just have their work cut out for them. They have to sign a striker.
Prof, I want you to allude to this Arsenal issue with this striking.
Arsenal, look, for me, I will not criticize the signing of Calafiori. You know, I think if you want to be champions, I think the idea is you strengthen even where you're strong. You go ahead and add to it, and that's what they've done. You know, and Bishop, defense actually wins titles. You know, it does win titles because we've seen it over the years. You know, the teams that win the titles usually you have to put out a very good defense. Look at Chelsea over the years. Look at Man U when they had Nemanja Vidic and Ferdinand and Chelsea when they had Terry and Carvalho. City with company. You have to have even Liverpool with Van Dijk. So look, they've done well defensively. I think they're going to be the best defense in the league, if not in the whole of Europe next season. I can put my neck on the line for that. They are very, very strong. They cannot be bullied anymore. You know, they have 6'3" men up there. You have Rice, you have Partey. I think they're even keeping Partey again. When you have likes of Rice and Partey in front of another 4 centre backs. Ben White used to be a centre back. They have Saliba and Gabriel, and then Calafiori. About 4 centre backs and 2 DMS like that. They are very solid. So for me, they should do everything they can to go and get that poacher. Not necessarily, it doesn't have to be a world-class striker. Just get a poacher, somebody that when it's going bad, you can turn to. I don't think Havertz is the guy. Like Bishop said, yeah, we've given Havertz a lot of stick, and he has improved. There's a way, the style of play that Arsenal plays now, the way Arsenal plays now, it sort of fits the way Havertz plays. But and I think Arteta likes him in that number 9 position. So if you know you like him in the number 9 position, it's good. But Havertz will not win you the title in the number 9 position. So why not just get a poacher, somebody that can, come in and be, that can complement Havertz in that position. So any day Havertz is having a blank, you can bring him in, and you guarantee that he can give you some goals. Even if they had that full crew guy, honestly, I wouldn't.
I'm telling you,
when the game is going off, you put him full crew, and they start putting crosses in the box. He can do something for you. So they should go ahead and get somebody of that stature. I cannot wrap my head around why Ivan Toney is still seated in Brentford today. I don't know what. Maybe there must be an underlying circumstance with Toney. Maybe with the betting thing or something, or that, because I don't know why a player like that, with all his attributes, he's still. And Arsenal wanted him at some point. They were flirting with him. I don't understand why he's still there. So For me, Arsenal so far, the business with the midfield Merino, with Calafiori, fantastic business. Go and get that number 9, and for me, win the title.
All right, all right. That being said, let's cross over to this team, Chelsea. Chelsea, Prof. I must ask you this question. What do you now they buy? What is
Honestly,
No,
I
no,
must.
so sorry, before Prof comes in. So I think Chelsea is just offsetting the books. They are offsetting the books, and people don't know. They are doing it in an intelligent way.
okay.
They are offsetting the books. Prof, go ahead.
Yeah, well,
I think they actually sold. They sold the player that they didn't even use at all. They just bought him and they sold him already. Is that bad?
what player? What
They
player is
didn't
that?
use him and they sold him.
Who?
I think there's this Brazilian youngster that they actually signed. I think they sold him to Leon. I'll check and I'll get back to you with the name of the player.
Okay.
Just 2 seasons and they've already offloaded him. Yeah.
Chelsea, I can be here all day, but first of all, yeah, like Bishop said, they are upsetting the book. They are building for the future. All that is music to my ear. I think they are all over the place. I think it's a scattergun approach. It's embarrassing. To be honest, transfer what we're seeing, which is really embarrassing. To have the likes of Conor Gallagher travel to Madrid and come back. Samu Omodioron travel to England and go back. It is only Chelsea that can that all this type of rubbish can happen at this moment in time. And for me, I am as much as I try to understand these people's approach, and a lot of people say, well, Chelsea are making lots of signings. I think people should make no mistake about it. All the signings they are making are not usually interesting. They make signings for profit.
Not at all. Not
So
at all.
when they go and sign the likes of Omari Kellyman from Villa, they make this sign. Everybody thinks they are eight goalkeepers, this and that. They are not signing all these players just for the first team. They understand that they can sign players, loan them, get their market value up, resell them. Look at what they are doing, and they've been making great sales. They know how to sell. We can give them that, so they know how to do business. So, but then don't use your business side. I don't focus too much. We the fans that bleed this club. We want you to focus on the level. We are tired of our team flirting with mid-table. Why not put serious energy into making this team what it used to be, which is a world-class team challenging for titles? How can we go into a season and Chelsea? A lot of people are putting Chelsea out of the top 6. People are saying we'll finish 10th, 12th. It's embarrassing for a team like that who has always been to the top 3 for years. So why not make focus on the first team first, build something strong, then you can continue to do your market, your merchandise and your all of that behind the scenes, selling to resell. So I'm not so happy about the transfer. I like the way they treated Chalobah, who for me is our best defender.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Who was the best player?
Come on now.
It's pathetic. I think we can do it. We can do with 2 of those players in the Chelsea team right now. I think both of them should be in the first 11. As a matter of fact, and then you're selling them, and we don't know. But then, hopefully, they can get some good replacements. I'm hearing that we might still get Joao Felix, who had a somewhat good stint when he was in Chelsea. Apparently, Pochettino said he didn't want him. That was why we didn't sign him. But now that that Maresca is here, I think Maresca sort of fancies him because Raheem Sterling and Modric are not doing so well on that left-hand side. So maybe we can use a Joao Felix. And then I'm still hearing that Chelsea are still in for Osimhen, because of the Lukaku trade. So it's possible that we might get Osimhen, even though he doesn't want to reduce his salary to come to Chelsea. So Chelsea's transfer so far,
the scorecard. Can you give me a scorecard about Chelsea?
So far, I'll give it a D.
I mean,
a D. I'm not happy with the transfers so far.
Well, Jeffers, you want to say something before I cross over to another team in EPL? I'll mute your mic. Let me hear what you want to say. Is it about Chelsea?
Very quick one. I think, yes, it is. I think the problem Chelsea is having is, basically we say the manager should be the one who actually decides and discusses with the directors of football on the players he wants to get. I think what we are having in Chelsea is the opposite. We're having a situation whereby the owner is busy signing players while the coach is just expected to utilize them. If there's any problem that comes with that kind of approach, who takes the blame? The coach. I think there was a time whereby Maresca actually complained that,
correct something. I don't think that is how exactly.
Go on, I can hear you. Yeah.
I think that is exactly how it works because
Well,
What
actually,
do
he's
you,
complaining.
no,
I don't. No, I don't think
Maresca,
so. I think this is
Maresca,
the way it works.
Karen Dewsbury Hall was bought for 30 million for Maresca. He sanctioned that signing. So the way it works
Yeah.
actually, they
Yeah.
get the player profile and actually they discuss with the manager. So when they get the manager, says, "Oh,
Okay.
this is the profile I want." Then the board of direct, the head of sporting directors and all that, they
Mm.
go out and get similar profile to
Yeah.
what he wants because obviously they have to look at the
Okay.
wage, they have to look at all that, the transfer fees. So what I want to point out is Maresca
Yeah.
is actually quite involved in some of the signings of this player. I'm talking about those that are fitting in first 11, not those that are being signed to be loaned out or sold. But so far, so good. Dewsbury Hall has been bought for him. I think he was involved in Tosin Adarabioyo's signing as well. So, yeah, I just wanted to correct that.
Well,
Okay. I think my major concern now is this. My major concern now is this. I personally asked this question. You have a player like Trevor Chalobah, who basically single-handedly lifted Chelsea last season when they were basically nowhere.
I'm
And the
telling
first
you,
thing you're hearing now is he's being asked to train with the under 21s.
under
Do you
21.
know what impression it gives? It gives any youngster who is coming through the academy and coming through the ranks at Chelsea that if you're putting your hopes on staying in this club, you're wasting your time.
Mm.
Let's look at all the academy players that have been shipped out basically in the last few years. It doesn't portend well of the Chelsea academy system. It only tells that the club is looking at profits and not looking at development. And the truth is, it's going to get to a point of time whereby it will actually backfire because right now, it's very, very rare for you to get good players on a dime. It becomes expensive in the transfer market. You basically now have to start putting a lot of focus on team development, player development, that when the player develops and coming through the ranks, then you can be able to actually try and see if you can sell and make a profit for him. But if in the case whereby all the youngsters that are being produced are being loaned out without even giving them a glimpse of even seeing what they can do,
Mm.
then it tells a very, very bad business strategy for the club.
Well, Bishop, quickly, Bishop, if you want to say
So
something.
yeah, so me, you guys are just being too harsh on these Chelsea guys. This is to be sincere with you guys. These guys, bro, for you the one that posted something on the group, the salary slash from
Yeah,
Abramovich
yeah,
side to this era.
yeah, yeah. No, I give
Did you
them
see
that.
did you see the reduction?
It's a
That's
massive
that's
reduction.
wise business. That is
Yeah.
wise business. Give
Wow.
them props for that. These guys know what they are doing. They are business guys, just like Prof said. They are not football technical guys. They are business guys. We
Business
are
guy.
here. We are here to balance the books. All
Mm.
these transfers. Someone put it on Twitter. It sounds funny, but that's the truth. They want to sanction Felix deal so that Atletico will have money to buy Gallagher, and when they do plus and minus, Chelsea will still have like 20 million in the bank. See, these things are like the kind of intelligent deals that Arsenal cannot pull out. Man, you cannot put them out. So give these guys props what they are trying to do. When Ateta came, Ateta said the same thing, that the pay structure of Arsenal was too much. They have to bring it down. Then they were not selling players, they were just releasing them. Aubameyang was not sold, even on his form. Aubameyang was not sold. They just released him. So there are many things that we go, but Chelsea are selling players. They've scammed Man U, they've scammed Arsenal, and they're going to scam many more people. So please just give them time. We can bant them for all, but I'm telling you, those guys are doing intelligent business.
Well, Bishop, before you go, let's before you move on, talk much about Chelsea. Let's look at Manchester United. Bishop, I'm going to start with you. The scorecard for Manchester United. We've signed fantastic players.
Which
What's
fantastic player? They signed fantastic injured players. The
Oh
two
my God.
players, the first two players you signed are on injury. So let's get that straight. Zeki is on injury. Yoro is on injury. Delight, he has not played any friendly, so I'm not expecting him in the first on Friday. I'm not expecting to see him. Mazrao, I'm not expecting to see him. So you're left with Dalot,
Mm,
Lisandro,
mm.
Maguire, and Shaw is out. I don't know what
Can you
happened
imagine?
to Shaw. We need to investigate that guy. That guy is becoming a scam player now. He's out. I saw him in the last game of England. We saw the Euros. He was there playing. All of a sudden, the next match is out. I don't know what happened. Nobody could tell us what happened. That is by the way. We go to the midfield. Hernandez is going. Rashford, this will be the season that will decide Rashford's fate. If he shows up, he stays. If he doesn't shows up, I'm telling you, Man U will cut their loss. They will cut their loss with him and he can go. So the only promising side that we are saying is Diallo, Ahmad. Ahmad is showing promising sign. I know he's going to start, but when he starts, so Garnacho go to the left-hand side. That means you have to play Rashford forward because obviously Fernandes will be behind the striker. So Casemiro is staying, so Casemiro starts. Manon starts. The lineup are fixed. With those teams, I'm not seeing anything where they can go to. In fact, so if you because of the Delight and Mazuri guy they signed, Man U signing to is a D, if we are being sincere, because the two guys that would have made you like better, Zeki and Yoro, are 3 months away. They're like 3 months injured right now. So what are we saying? So,
Prof, do you agree with Bishop on this Manchester United transfer?
United, right?
It's giving us D.
Yeah, no, I will not give Man United a D. You know, I won't give them a D. I think I'll probably give them a B, a C or B because they've not gone to sign a midfielder, a destructive midfielder. Yeah. I don't think Casemiro in there. I know there's Kobe Mino is coming in. I don't think Casemiro, when it comes to that latter part of the season, mid part when it's very, the games are coming thick and fast. And don't forget, they're also the Europa League. I don't think Casemiro might be able to do it. I heard you guys were in for Gatti. I don't know what the situation is. But what I want to say about Man United is that Erik ten Hag has no excuse. Because for me, this is even more than a backing. They didn't just back you with transfers. They backed you with players that are like your family, like you. I'm sure they have their phone numbers. They talk. These are your boys. They're expected to run, to die for you, to run into a train for you. This Delete, Mazuari, you have a likes of Anthony, who you haven't gotten the best from out of. These are your boys. I was surprised he didn't make Donny van de Beek work. At least he met Donny van de Beek in that club and he trained him. I wonder how he wasn't able to get. So now we have Anthony, he couldn't do anything with. Donny van de Beek, he couldn't do anything with. So what is the confidence that we should have that we get the best out of the Leeds and Mazuari? These are his players. For me, he has no excuse because I'm very sure he demanded those players. So he has no excuse. I think, man, you have to do better. The sort of statistics that we saw last season was atrocious. The numbers should never repeat. He set all sort of unwetted record last season, Erik ten Hag. And for me, if he's not careful, if he starts badly, I won't be surprised if he gets the sack early. So he needs to make sure that he has been fully backed. They should go ahead and get the DMF, but then that is me looking at it from the other side. If those signings work out, the Leeds is one of the best young centre backs in the world. Euro is looking like one of the best young centre backs as well, young centre back talents as well. This is somebody that Madrid wanted. So they have actually made good signings if those signings can work. And if this man can get a playing pattern, Bishop has been talking about it since. Give me a pattern. What is the pattern that these players are going to fit into? He needs to get all this right. If he does, why not? There's a good enough squad there for mine to challenge and even get in the top 4.
Well, all right. Now Liverpool. Jeffers, I'm going to start with you. Liverpool. They are struggling at the moment. They are struggling. No doubt about it, Jeffers. Don't lie. Liverpool are struggling. You have to unmute your. Okay, yeah.
I think this is the transition era, the era after Jurgen Klopp. I think the problem Liverpool has is, and the slot is already coming in for scrutiny because Klopp has already set a standard that is going to take something extraordinarily special to actually overpass. That's the honest truth. So I think, first of all, you're having a situation whereby Klopp has already set a team. He has already set a pattern. As a new manager, the first thing you're going to do now is to try and stamp your own authority on that team. And I think the first challenge is going to have is with Mohamed Salah.
Wow.
There are times last season where we saw that Salah was actually off color. This preseason, let's say a new haircut, a new me. That's what we're saying with Salah. But the thing is, can it last? And if there are those games whereby Salah doesn't actually get on form, can you be bold enough to make those changes to actually take him off? Another concern they're also going to have is Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez yes, had a very great Copa America, but as usual, in the key game where it was needed for him to perform, we saw the Nunes of old. Getting chances right at the point where you feel he's going to strike a net, he fluffs them. It's going to happen again this season. And if you've noticed one thing, the preseason, he hasn't really been that present in preseason. So we don't know exactly what condition he's going to be in for the season. Diogo Jota, still we're seeing what he can do. I think one of the surprises I actually saw with that Liverpool side was the fact that Fabio Carvalho, who had a very, very good preseason, was just sold. I think that's what's even surprising. He's been sold already. He's been transferred out of the team. So that lets you... And when you look at the defense line, you're already having a question mark on that defense line, considering the fact that this guy came out to speak yesterday that he's yet to get a new contract. That's Virgil van Dijk. And the truth is, no matter how much you're going to put it, you see that Liverpool defensive line, Van Dijk is the soul of that defensive line. If you're having a situation whereby your club captain is having a contract issue and it hasn't been resolved at this point, I think he's only telling us that they might be looking at letting Van Dijk leave. And if that happens, when your captain is already unsteady and the defense line is unsteady, it's not a good sign, honestly. So I think based on the fact they've not done any transfers, they've not brought in anyone yet. Everyone has just been out. No one has come in yet. I think I would say, based on the fact the squad they have, we'll put Liverpool's transfer on a B-, because the truth is, any injuries, there's trouble. That's just it, honestly.
All right. Okay. Hold on, Jefferson. I'll be right back with you. Prof.
Yeah.
Want to say something about this Liverpool?
I don't know why Jefferson is doing a B-. They haven't signed anybody.
They've not signed anybody.
They've not signed anybody.
Crazy.
Well, for me, right? Look, I think I actually felt that Salah would leave this season. And I was predicting it last season, thinking, end of clubs era, Salah was tempted with a lot. I think Salah even fits the face of the Saudi league. To be honest, I think the clouds that they would have got from Salah might be on par. I would go as far as say might be on par with even Cristiano Ronaldo, because he just epitomizes that league. That league. Right? So for him to come out, like Jeffrey said, with his haircut, it feels a little bit more hungry. I think he's been spoken. I think he looks hungry to prove it. I don't know what he wants to prove, but it looks fresh. It looks like he wants to go into the season again. So I think keeping hold of him was good, and I think the club wants a smooth transition from flop to slot. So they didn't want to lose too many players. I was thinking likes of Van Dijk and Salah would have left. So I think they want to have this season to ease slot into it, and then maybe we can see those changes. So that's what I think the strategy was, that keep hold of these players who I think are made. They are ready-made players. Liverpool have a ready-made squad. They have no excuse. All they need to do now is make full of signing. I think they need a DMF. We had as Women rejected them, which for me is a slap on their face. But they should be able to. They should go out and get a DMF, because they don't have any. McAllister should be playing up front with Szoboszlai. If they have a DMF and probably get maybe a cover for Konate, who we know sometimes can get injured. Then contact a young lad, somebody that is stable enough to pair with Van Dijk. I think they are good to go, and I think I see them pushing for time as well. They'll be in and around it.
All right.
Okay,
sorry, the prof. Let me ask Jeffrey. You said if injury happened to any of the player that they don't have replacement. Do you know? Have you seen Liverpool team?
They have the best firepower up front.
There's replacement everywhere.
I think the thing is this. I think everyone when it comes to Liverpool, everyone tends to focus mainly on that attack and that midfield. But my major concern is the defense line.
Okay, let's go to the defense line.
Concern.
Let's go to the defense line. Last season, that Trent, how many matches did Trent play?
Trent didn't play much, and they suffered for it towards the end of the season.
They didn't suffer for it towards the end of the season. It was even when he came back that they started suffering from it. The guy that deputized for him, the guy was good. The guy was playing well. Yes, Bradley.
That's Bradley. Yes, Conor Bradley was Bradley was good. Yeah.
Now Van Dijk as a replacement. There is Van Dijk, Konate. Now this season we are not even knowing, based on what we are hearing, that Konate might not start. That is Kwanzaa, the young guy. That means this is that will start.
Kwanzaa will start. Yeah.
So they trusted a young guy to Pierre Van Dijk. That's another difference. That's difference. Go to Robertson. Robertson is not starting this season. He's the Greek guy, Timiskas, that is starting.
Timkas, yeah.
It's him that is going to start. So look at the defense. I've given you 4 replacements for all of them. There are still more. There's still Gomez. We have not even mentioned. See, those
Gomez
guys
basically hasn't even played. Funny enough, he hasn't played. Even at the Euros, he didn't even play a single game.
There are many of them.
And I think for him, for Gomez, what will work for Gomez this season has to be confidence. He needs to get confidence in his gameplay, and for him to get that confidence, he has to play at some point. No player wants to actually be in a club side and you're seeing yourself sitting on the bench continuously when you can actually contribute. It's going to get to a point whereby you finally say, you know what, I want to try my luck somewhere else, and they will move, definitely.
Okay, so I saw that game against Las Palmas where they drew 0-0. I saw the game. Everybody that played that game was the second tier. They were the second team. Everybody that played that game was second team, including, and in their second team, let me give you the run-up. They have Gapo, Nunes, Endo, Jones, Elliott, Robertson, Philip, Brandley, Konate. These people I mentioned, they are all second team in this season. There was no Jota, there was no Luis Diaz, there was no Salah, there was no McAllister, there was no Gravenberch, there was no Van Dijk. What I'm saying is, Liverpool team is set up, just like Prof said. They can push for the title if they can mix it well. This team is set up. Yeah, they can have one more defense or one more anything, but they are good to go for this season.
They are professionals. They are the experience. They've won it. Most of them have won it. I think they are good to go. I think we cannot put Liverpool in the same breath with Chelsea and United saying it's a transition. There's no for me. I don't see too much transition. I know it's difficult. It's difficult to.
You can't put them in the same breath. I think they are in a more advanced stage of transition than United and Chelsea. Yes.
But he has been saying it that he will accept nothing less than a push for even the title or a third position. He said we accept nothing less than, and it's true. So I don't think we should be carried away with the fact that Slot is new and is replacing Klopp. No, when you have the likes of Van Dijk, Salah, Diaz, McAllister, you have no excuse. Trent, you have no excuse.
All right.
I think there's one more thing that people are not really looking at that much. I don't just want to chip it in. I think there's a concern Klopp raised last season, and I think is what we are seeing now, whereby the owners of Liverpool are not exactly willing to contribute to bringing in new players. Have you noticed it? Because they are not even disturbed about the transfer market whatsoever.
No, like I said, Jeff, I think it's an intentional act. I think the plan
was an intentional act, exactly.
I think the plan was leave what Klopp has left, transition with them, then you can now, start changing. They don't want to change too much. New manager, new players, they didn't want that. I think it was intentional. Keep the players. If you lose the manager, keep the players. Then move with the players. Then after a season, then you can start adding and subtracting. That's what I think they wanted to do.
All right, let's quickly talk about your our predictions. This is another segment